How can you refute this? We have less viruses, which means less to worry about. You can cop out all you want, giving excuses why there isn't viruses on the Mac. But the truth of the matter is, there isn't viruses on the Mac. And if you think there are, find me one. You might be able to find a few, but that's probably all you're going to find is a few. Let's go on to the second point. Unix based. I don't see how all you Linux fans out there can say Linux is stable and OS X isn't. It's Unix based. Linux is Unix based. It all started with Unix. Unix is by far a more stable base foundation for anything. And if you're going to try and argue that point, forget it. I'm not even going to argue with you. Windows is not as stable as anything Linux or Unix based. Period. That brings on to point number 3, more stable, because it's Unix based. Number 4, more secure. More secure because we have less viruses and stuff. What are you talking about? Everybody on my video comments wants to say don't surf with IE. I don't surf with IE. You don't have to be surfing with IE on a PC to get viruses. And period. PCs are less better hardware. This is opinion. A lot of people tell me this is opinion. I don't think so. Mac has far superior hardware. I can do twice as much with my Mac hardware as you can with your PC hardware. We don't need GPUs with a gig of VRAM on them to get good performance out of a game. Like I said before, if a game is available natively on both platforms, you will get the same performance out of a Mac as you do a PC with an 8800 series. Period. Number 6, faster. I only have one thing to say to you guys who think Macs ain't faster. 8-core Mac Pro. Number 7, better resale value. If you're going to sit there and look me in the eyes and tell me Macs don't resell for over twice what PCs do, you're a complete ass speaker. Go to eBay and look up resale values for Mac Minis or Mac Pros or G4s and G5s. Look at the resale value. G4s resell for higher than some of these newer PCs do. It's ridiculous. When you factor in resale value, if you buy a Mac Mini for $600, you can resell that bitch for $350, $400, which means in the long run you only got about $200 in it. So when you include resale value, yeah, Macs are cheaper. And they're competitively priced anyway, even without considering resale value. More stylish. Yeah, your outside reflects your inside on a lot of things. Fucking PCs, every one of them I've ever seen, the inside of them looks like a homemade bomb. You know, when a company takes pride in how their machines look and are set up, that tells me that they take pride in the software that's going to be put on these machines. So I don't want to hear no cop-out about, oh, it's just pretty. That means a lot. That means they care enough about their machines to make them aesthetically pleasing on the outside and not just a plastic box. That tells you a whole lot to the insight of how Apple's works. They care. PC manufacturers don't give a fuck. We went over this, up to 8 cores. Number 10, runs Windows and OS X apps both. Now you can say we need Windows. You can say all this bullshit that you want. What it boils down to is we can run both. We can run 2 operating systems, whereas you can only run 1. You want to dual boot Linux? That's fine. We can do that too. But I can dual boot OS X, Vista, no problem. You want to talk about OS x86? Go ahead, talk out your ass all you want. It's bullshit. There's no drivers, there's no support, it's illegal. Number 11, 64-bit top to bottom. Windows Vista 64-bit sucks. I dare you to refute me on that. People can say, well, Windows runs both, blah, 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 blah. Bullshit. Leopard is 64-bit, 32-bit, both. Windows Vista 32-bit is not. They are a difference. So quit copping out once again. And number 12, easier to use. They're easier to use. People who can pick up a Mac and get right into it and learn it a lot easier than they can on a Windows PC. Take my mother, for example. She's 50-some years old. It took her a month to learn XP. But when we switched her over to a Mac, she had it in a few days. She picked it right up. And it's just the way it is. And I can show you tests where psychologists have proven that OS X is easier to use. It's ridiculous. Windows is jargon, is all it is. Code on top of code on top of code. So all you Win PC fanboys who think PCs are better just because of games, go back and suck on your mama's tit, because it's time to grow up. Computers do a lot more than games. And if you're buying a computer just because it games well, then you're totally missing the point. Computers do so much more than just games. And I would rather have a computer that does well at everything instead of a computer that just does well at one thing. So for the casual gamer, Macs are just fine. Only the hardcore gamers who like to tweak and customize their PCs are like the average customer who plays games here and there for fun. The Mac is perfect. We can run anything you can under Windows, any game. And when you want to get into custom PCs, if you want a custom PC to run a game as good as my Mac will, it's not going to be cheaper. I don't care what you say. You know, maybe a few $100s, then you got to build it. But there's the 11 points.